Teachers, along with a handful of public officers, marched onto the National Assembly grounds this morning. They protested by walking and chanting around the building. But what started out as another day of peaceful demonstrations turned into verbal exchanges between the union members and the police. At one point, protesters refused to move. Police officers even attempted to remove NTUCB's president, Luis Luke Martinez. We shall not be moved. Like their anthem says, we shall not be moved. They didn't move, even as cops on the ground informed them that they weren't social distancing and that they were loitering.
We belong here.
You shall not be moved.
I shall not be moved regardless of what they say, because we pay our taxes. So we have a right. This is a democratic country, and so we have a right to stand here.
As the union members stood their ground, law enforcement support arrived and demanded that they leave from in front of the National Assembly, where members of the House of Representatives were arriving.
Let's go. I need to left, please. We need to move.
Finally, the teachers were moved away from the front and gathered behind the barriers on the steps of the National Assembly.
What the teachers do not nothing criminal, brother. Nothing.
Against COVID regulations, there's so many of you guys. No social distancing, sir. No permit to demonstrate.
The unions didn't have a permit to protest today in Belmopan, and while it has been weeks of industrial actions, B.N.T.U's national president, Elena Smith, says that the union members remain steadfast.
We are at the end of the 5th week. This is 5 weeks now. Our teachers, as you are noticing, they are still vibrant. They are still alive and kicking. And if I'm to take by what I'm hearing, it seems as though they're not prepared yet to return. But we'll find that out later.
B.N.T.U's President Elena Smith says that the unions have put their response to GOB's proposals in black and white. And while they say the next move is up to the government, today they didn't share details of their response when we spoke to them earlier.
What we did is a response to what they sent to us. And so we responded to their undertakings. And we highlighted some of the other areas that we had not gotten to having much discussions on. We highlighted those areas as well. It's up to them. We will be responding. We'll give them a letter today. It's up to them to determine the next course of actions. They determine when what we are doing ends. I can't speak to an end to the strike. What I can say is that if it is that we want for this matter to be completed, if we want for teachers to return to the classroom and public officers to return to the office spaces, then there has to be discussions. It can't be that you expect that people will just step back without proper documentation, proper resolutions, proper agreements.
The demonstrations continued through to almost midday with drums and singing in front of the National Assembly as members of the House of Representatives met to make the 10% cut legally binding. Reporting for News 5, I am Andrea Polanco.